Hello guys, welcome back to the channel for a new Databricks video. Today we are going to discuss about Databricks Asset Bundles. In our previous video, we saw how to deploy Databricks Asset Bundles via Azure DevOps. In this video, we have two new ways. The first one is by using GitHub Actions, which is quite popular. And the second one is to deploy Databricks Asset Bundles directly from your Databricks workspace. The first method, using GitHub Actions, requires some time to set it up, but once done, no extra effort is needed. The second method, which is deploying directly from your Databricks workspace, is a feature in public preview in Databricks. However, I do believe it's worth exploring it. But enough talking, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Okay guys, here we are on our GitHub webpage. We have a repo that we used in the previous example of how to deploy Databricks Asset Bundles via Azure DevOps. Here in this directory, remember we have a YAML file that was used to deploy your Databricks Asset Bundle to Databricks via Azure DevOps. But let's say that you want to transition from Azure DevOps to GitHub Actions. And this transition, it's pretty smooth. It's very simple to do that. Let's move to Azure Portal. And the first thing that you have to do is create a service principal. I have already done that, but if you go here into your app registrations, you click on New Registration and you create a service principal. As you can see, I have already done that. I have a service principal here. From here, you would need this application client ID, the only thing that you need from here. Now, the next step is to provide admin access, admin privileges to your service principal on your Databricks workspace. So move into your Databricks account console. So click on your Databricks workspace name here, click on Manage Account, log on into your account console, and here where it says user management under service principal, you can see I have already done that. But if you, let's say I haven't done that, you click on add service principal, and here you click on Microsoft Entra ID managed, and here you can provide the same name. This is just a name. This is the important part here, Microsoft Entra Application ID. So go back here, copy the application client ID and paste it here, and then add service principal. This is already been done, so that's why I cannot add it. And here in your catalog, what you have to do, let's say you have a metastore, right? And then you have to assign your Databricks workspace to this metastore. So assign to workspace, click on your Databricks workspace, click on assign. Here you have to enable, it lets you enable Unity Catalog. And as you can see, the pricing tier changes from the trial to premium. Now, if you go into your workspaces, click on your Databricks workspace, and here under permissions, what you have to do is add permission, and then search for your service principal, the demo, for example, and here provide admin privileges, and then click on save. So what do we need now? Now we need a personal access token for this service principal that we are going to provide to GitHub, so it has privileges using the service principal to deploy our Databricks Asset Bundle. But there is one step before that, and this one step is actually to use your Databricks CLI and your Databricks profile to do a machine-to-machine authentication, and then you are only able to create a personal access token for this service principal. So let's go into user management, click on your service principal here, demo, and then click on credentials and secrets, right? I have already done that, but you can create a new one, so generate a secret here, and then you need this secret for the machine-to-machine authentication, so copy your secret into your notepad. Okay, so we have saved the secret. The next thing is to actually perform this authentication, and in order to do that you need to configure your Databricks profile for the Databricks CLI, because that will be done from VS Code or from your local environment. This is the article that describes how to use Databricks CLI with configuration profiles. We have done this in the past. So we have to add a profile here in the .databricks CFG file. So it's easy to run commands across various workspaces based on the configuration profile name. So open your .databricks CFG file, and on this file here we have to provide the host. Here is the name of your profile. So we have open bracket dap-demo, and we close the bracket. You can provide whatever name you want for this profile. You can have multiple profiles, of course. And here we provide the host, which is the Databricks link, and then we have the client ID, which is the client ID of the service principal, and then is the client secret, which is the secret that we created for this service principal on Databricks just 1 second ago, right? So this is the profile that we want right now for this Databricks workspace. Now, if you are not sure where you can find this Databricks CFG file, go into the documentation, and it clearly says it's in your user home, and you can use our user profile folder on Windows. And here there are some commands of how to authenticate, to check if you are authenticated and if your profile is valid. So let me run this command, Databricks auth profiles, and see if our profile now is valid and if we have access to our Databricks workspace. And we should, based on this service principal that has admin privileges. If it doesn't have admin privileges, I don't think you are able to connect. Let's move to VS Code now. And here, let me paste the command and Databricks auth profiles. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, as you can see, this profile that is pointing to this host, it's a valid profile, right? Now, what's the next step? First, here, as you can see, this is the old YAML file used for Azure DevOps and not GitHub workflow. The first thing we have to do is actually here create a new folder. So let's create a new folder called .github/workflows, and inside this create a Python file, which is a YAML file called main.yaml, and let me paste the content of this file here. It's a bit different than using Azure DevOps. Apparently, a bit of different syntax on the steps. So first you have to use whatever branch you allow and that you're pushing, and then here on the jobs, and we have validate and the name. So in one step we install, deploy the bundle and test. You can of course have separate steps for each one, but here for simplicity we do everything at once. It runs on Ubuntu latest, and then the steps here, the first one is the checkout repo, right? And then it uses action/checkout version 3, and then we set up Python, and then we install the dependencies. We install Poetry because we are using Poetry to build a Python wheel, and then we install Databricks CLI here, deploy bundle, we use Databricks bundle deploy, and here we have the Databricks token. Now this is the token that we have to provide. We are going to create this token now for the service principal and add this token into our GitHub, so it has access to our workspace to deploy the Databricks Asset Bundle. And here the target bundle environment is dev, and here is this Databricks host that you have to provide. So let me change that because now I have a different one. Copy that, paste it here, and save this YAML file. And this is what you need to do to deploy a Databricks Asset Bundle. These are the basic steps, of course. Now let's validate the bundle, that it's a valid Databricks Asset Bundle, using Databricks bundle validate -- profile and your profile. And here that's a warning, this is nothing, so everything is okay. And the target workspace is dev and all these things. So everything is alright in regards to Databricks Asset Bundle. Now the most important step is this command here, Databricks tokens create -- profile, right? And this will provide a secret for this one token value. As you can see here, you have to copy that. So let me copy, because this one should be provided on GitHub, right? And this is necessary in order for GitHub to be able to deploy to your workspace. Back to your GitHub, go into your repo with your Databricks Asset Bundle, click on Settings, and then scroll down where it says Secrets and Variables. And here into Actions, I have already created a repository secret. You can edit that. I'm going to edit that, but you have to create a new repo secret. So click on Edit, I paste the new value, and here, remember, this is the name. Let me do that, let me confirm. And here, this SVP underscore token, here is the variable name that contains the secret in your YAML file. Let's go back to our VS Code and see that again. You see here in your Databricks token, this is how you fetch the secret is $, then you open two brackets, and then have secrets.svp underscore token. And this is how it gets this YAML file gets the token from GitHub. So here in our Databricks Asset Bundle, let's make a change. For example, here, change that to 4, save that, and then git status, let's see, git add everything, git commit -m, provide here test demo, for example, git push origin master, and here now on our GitHub Actions, now when we push, you will see it automatically triggers the GitHub action and deploys the Databricks Asset Bundle to your workspace. So let me refresh that. As you can see here, test demo, this is running, install and deploy bundle, and here how it's all the steps to deploy the bundle that we have in the YAML file. And then this bundle is going to be deployed to your Databricks workspace. It's running, as you can see. The job is completed. So if we go into our Databricks workspace, click on Jobs and Pipelines, you will see the pipeline here, right? And here, this is your pipeline, and you can run it and do whatever you want. One last thing I would like to point out here is on your Databricks YAML file that you have to add this tag here, run underscore as, and your service principal ID, service principal name, and here this is the client ID. You have to provide that, so when your GitHub Actions deploy your Databricks Asset Bundle, they are authorized to do that. Now it's time to deploy straight from the Databricks workspace. First of all, in order to do that, you have to enable this feature in public preview. So if you have already done that, you can go into your workspace and let's say into your user, click on create and create Git folder. Now here it says a Git repository URL and the Git provider. Here on my GitHub, I have another project using GitHub Actions, but this is not necessary. As you can see, the structure is slightly different. It expects a certain way of how you structure the Databricks Asset Bundle in terms of directories and naming conventions. This is what I found out, but please double check as well. And here I have a YAML file with all this, with this job pointing to this notebook, etc., etc. And how we can actually, first we have to import this repo into our Git folder on Databricks workspace, and how you can do that, click on code, copy this HTTP link here, go back to your Git repository URL and create a Git folder. Then it will ask you for your link Git account or your personal access token. I can use personal access token. I provide my email address. How you get your personal access token, click on your name here and where it says settings, scroll down to the bottom where it says developer settings, and then in personal access token, the classic ones, click on here, generate a new token, classic test 3 or whatever, and then provide repo scope, and then generate token. It will give you this token here, so copy that and paste it here, click on save, and then let's clone the repo, and here is the repo. Now if you click on the databricks.yaml, you can see it has this like a diamond thing, a cube. Open that, and here you can see everything, the host that we have to change, so let's change that now. Change the host here, and also the service principal. Let's go back here, copy that here and paste it here, the service principal. And what you have to click here on this rocket or spaceship or whatever, which says deployment, click on that icon. It's not upgrade, you have to upgrade to premium, and or you have an admin, right? So let me switch to the admin account. Now it's loading. Here, as you can see, it has the source, which is the Python package, and we have the target, which is dev or production. Here you can see we have dev and prod, that's why here we have this option. Let's use dev, and let's click on deploy, and click on deploy, and it's going, in theory, deploy your job. So running deploy on dev target, building default, let's see what it will do. Deployment was finished successfully. So here, as you can see, under bundle resources, you have the jobs here. You can trigger the job. If you go into your jobs and pipelines, you will see this job here, as you can see, and here you can also create a new job definition or a new pipeline definition. Okay guys, so these are two new ways of how to deploy Databricks Asset Bundles to your Databricks workspace aside from using Azure DevOps. The first method that we checked was with GitHub Actions, which is quite popular among companies, and I really like it personally. The second was straight from the Databricks workspace, which this feature is still in public preview. There is space for improvement, I think, but it's going places, and I think Databricks will improve this capability. So give it a try to experiment and see how this goes for you. And this is it for today, guys. If you like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.